Good morning. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage on your side, your wisdom guided oracle. And we are having coffee. Definitely having coffee this morning. Was a late night for me, which is fine. But then I have my routine in the morning, my quiet time, all of that I really have to do in order to feel balanced as much as we can right now throughout this day. So the energies are speeding up. Things are changing quickly. The world feels like it's in chaos because it is. The breakdown of the old system, the old guards, the powers that were, it's all happening and it's happening everywhere. And that can look pretty darn unsettling, scary, crazy. And because we are who we are, all of us, every single one of us in this world is reading and feeling the energies around us. And so we can feel pretty chaotic and disoriented at times, and like we're out of our bodies because we are in many instances. And then there's our own personal stuff that can be causing even more upheaval. So we really need to attend to ourselves and work our energy in order to keep and maintain a sense of balance and harmony inside. And it really is right now very intentional. So let's see what the guides, the Council of 12 is here, and what the cards are going to contribute to this message this morning. So the first card that came up is reflection. And we don't want the reflection on it. And this is that time of just getting quiet. Going back through maybe this last year, regardless of how it's been, list out the things that have worked on you. I was going to say for you, in your favor, and against you. It is all for our highest and best good. Does not always feel like that, nor does that mean it is easy. But you want to just take an inventory, reflect, and then ask, if you don't already have the understanding and insight, how did this help me grow? How did this spur me on in my life? What did this produce for me? Again, this is you standing in your power, not under the circumstances, not being the victim here. So reflection, get quiet as well. This is that time. This is winter solstice. It's that time of drawing inward. This is the inner work we want to do, because that's all. We can't do anybody else's work. What we can do is ours, and that shifts how we then affect the world, how we speak in the world, how our attitude comes forward into the world. Working on yourself, that quiet time, which is why I decided to back this up a half hour this morning. I got up pretty much an hour later than I normally do. And so I have to have this time of quiet, of grounding, of the breath work I do, of bringing in all of this in order to enter my day with any kind of balance. Because right now our physical is being shaken up through that energy. So there's more chaotic energy within us if we don't do these routines of just grounding and getting quiet and open, willing, ready, visiting with spirit, and just allowing them to come in and help us balance out. And then this inner work is huge. The next card that came up was the honeybee. And so this is kind of interesting because yesterday, it was 55 degrees here, probably about that time. I went out onto my front porch, and, we've had cold, rainy, and it froze again this morning. There was this honeybee on the table on the porch, and of course, moving very slowly. And I stopped and I gave it Reiki for, I don't know, 20 or 30 seconds. Its back legs were full of pollen. And I was baffled because I'm going, I don't see any flowers. Now, the truth is, in my bed way out back, there's these plants, I think called heliotrope. They're an evergreen. So they're green during the winter, and during the winter, the white blossoms come out. That is the only place I can think of that bee got the pollen. But I don't know. It was just so interesting to see it. And that's really a digress from the message. Let compassion and forgiveness be your top priority in this situation of your inner work. Forgiving yourself is key, because we can come up with a whole lot of reasons why we are beating ourselves up, what it is we need to fix within us. And that mean girl, the mean guy in the back of your head will reinforce all these reasons you need to beat up on yourself. There is no upside in that. Bringing in self forgiveness and self compassion is truly the beginning first step to coming into greater balance within yourself. We can't change all these things that we think, that we entertain regret for, and I should, woulda, shoulda, coulda energy. They're in the past, they're an illusion. It'll come up now, I guess. I had a beautiful community ed class last night. It was one of those where more people came than were signed up, which I generally have a waiting list. And so the last two classes haven't been as large. And usually a good 10 to 15% don't show, even though they've signed up and paid. This time, only one person out of 22 did not show. And then 3 extra people had signed up at the last minute. And so some interesting things. It was an incredible class with incredible energy. But we talked about this fact, the past and the future. They're just illusions. Neither one are real. What is real is right here. And that's why working your energy, meaning doing some meditation, if that's what you can do. I choose breath work time every morning because that is my meditative time. It's the only way I've found to really go into a quiet mind state at all and to stay present. I have that very busy monkey mind that will just hop everywhere if I don't do the breathwork aspect. I do promote meditation. It's just not something I have found that I do with any regularity. I don't get quiet, so I chose breathwork. At any rate, going into that aspect of where our minds can go and what we wish we would have done differently in any number of situations really robs us today of what we can produce. And so that quiet time of contemplation, of forgiving yourself, bringing in self-compassion, bringing in gratitude for what you have in this day is huge for centering and balancing yourself and getting to a place of inner harmony, or much more inner harmony in this time of world upheaval. And it is throughout the world. People are done with the old way of living and this top-down rulership that is toxic. I mean, there is no benevolent ruler anymore, no benevolent dictator. If there ever was, there is just slime in the governments around the world, and they are going to fall, and it is going to get crazier. So you doing your own work is huge. And then the card of childhood and innocence comes up. And I want to get it so you can actually see these two children down here looking at the beauty of what is coming through in that sky. Getting back to that childlike aspect where we look at the world that surrounds us. And, pretty much in my opinion, that is the natural world. That is the parks. If you live in the city, that is, getting out and seeing things like that bee. Now, my 4-year-old granddaughter would have loved to have been in contact with that little bee, because that's what kids do. They're interested in everything and they see the beauty. And it is healing for us to get back to that. The little things in life are what really count. The way, the sky, the clouds move across the sky, the way the breeze moves the dead leaves on the trees, and the fact we have many doves that come in and feed. My husband puts out feed, and them just flying in the corner of my eye with their white wings on a regular basis. There's just beauty in that, and the simplicity, and getting back to simplicity will be huge for us, because the next card, the mountain goat, there is something out of balance in your life. So do whatever you need to do to correct it. And the fear energy that is being propagated on so many platforms right now is huge. And this connection with your higher self, your guides, your angels, companions, is one way to get better balance, but is also that way to get that trust in yourself factor, that is really, 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 really necessary right now, because you're going to need to go to your gut, to your heart space, to go, is this really true? Is what's coming over here not true? There was this reel, and I'm all about natural health, wellness, bringing in the natural elements to heal, working with plant medicine and the properties of plant. In fact, I felt just so out of kilter when I woke up this morning. As I was sitting here getting ready, I burned some sage to just remove some of the negative energy that seemed to be clinging to me. But where was I going with that? Besides inner balance, and we need to correct and come into balance. So that fear, everything that's being propagated, we need to balance within ourselves and clear those energies in order to walk in this light that we are, and allow it to shine brighter. So that constant quiet time in the morning, and looking at the truth of what is, I started to say the natural health stuff. This reel came along last night, and probably if I wasn't a nurse, I wouldn't have known that it was bullshit. It was talking about, first, the title was 3 Things You Should Never Mix. And then it proceeds to tell you about a pain concoction that they were wanting you to mix together, because using ibuprofen was going to cause you liver damage. And then the 3 items were rosemary, olive oil, and Himalayan sea salt. And it was like, well, number one, ibuprofen is cleared through the kidneys, not the liver. And there's just one of those signs. It was like, this is just bullshit. And there's a lot of it out there. So you want to grow that trust in you. You want to grow in your power and in your ability to discern. Discernment's going to be huge. Open, willing, ready, guide me is a way to increase your discernment, having that extra energy walking with you on a regular basis, so that you get those, yeah, this is BS here. There's so much AI out there now. It can duplicate voices, but in my experience, maybe I've been duped by people that sound like that's them, but most of the time you can hear grammatical errors. The way they speak is still in a mechanical way, like this thing that was promoting these 3 ingredients for pain, none of which I have ever heard. And pain has been a journey I've been on. So I've looked at lots of natural things. Not one of them had any pain relieving component in it. It was bullshit. It was like, what else? It's like a puppet with a string. What else can I get you to do to dance? And these aren't just governmental control things. These are just icky energy out there. So you want to be the discerner. You want to be that barometer of, this does not feel quite right, and honor that. So you want to return to the innocence, which is that total feeling aspect in you, and then work on in your quiet time with your guides, open, willing, ready, guide me, to give you the discernment you need. The boar was the next card that came up. Face your problems head on with confidence and courage, and you will emerge victorious. Don't run from them. Don't just ignore them. Don't keep putting them behind you. What are the issues? Because you have what it takes not only to deal with them and overcome them, but each one of those things you're ignoring is a guide for you as to where there may be some trauma energy that you want to release, something that is standing in your way. So those things you procrastinate about are the very things that are going to give you the greatest healing, if you will face them head on and start to remove their energy. And then the last card that came up was the tree, the grounding energy. And of course, again, we return to Mother Nature for this. Ground yourself in any way you can. Um, just sitting out, gazing into a fire in your backyard in the fire pit, even if it's an artificial pit, that gazing at fire can help ground you. The intention to ground, get out, get in nature, hug a tree. The tree energy is just such an amazing, creative, wonderful presence. I really do recommend just going out, sitting next to a tree, get next to some running water somewhere, utilize what Gaia has, what Mother Nature has for us to keep our physical in a better state of alignment. And grounding is key right now, especially with all this cosmic energy coming in and the shifting energy, this rising energy that we're living in. Mother Nature is also feeling that. The geomagnetic energy in the earth is very unstable with all the cosmic energies, the solar flares coming at us. So many reasons to offer ourselves just a few minutes of grounding time each day will help reduce that spaciness that is really present right now in the light worker community because of this ascension energy. Time is speeding up. It is hard to hold on to the concrete everyday stuff. So we want to stay grounded. One way I do that is to go into my heart space and envision my energy moving down through my body into the ground, through all the layers of the earth, into the very center of Gaia, Mother Earth, and tying that energy cord that I just created with my intention there somewhere to keep me grounded for the day. And then I have created there in my imagination the place that I love to be. It's got a pond, a waterfall, grass, crystals, blue skies, trees, everything that fuels my soul is in this space. And I will go there in the morning when I'm doing my breath work and just get in that water, float, because that fuels me. What fuels you? Create your inner earth space to fuel you and to be a place where you can find the respite, the healing, the quiet, the harmony. Even if it's just for 5 minutes in the morning, it will make a difference in your day. Work on, I recommend that daily energy routine, that balancing of your energy meridians. If you don't know what that is, direct message me with your email. I will send you a link to that. It is a powerful, subtle way to keep yourself in balance. At first, you may not feel a difference. You might if it's your very first time realigning your energies. But if you consistently do it for at least a couple weeks, you will begin to see a shift in other areas of your life. So I think we are complete on this beautiful Wednesday. I will be back Friday. I was thinking I might be gone early. I'm headed to the mountains to ski again because I am healed from the last skiing adventure I had when I fell flat on my chest and separated some ribs, dislocated some ribs, and have been healing from that ever since. So I intend to have a lovely weekend with my family up there and have some fun. Thank you so much for joining me. Anyway, that was all to say. I will be back on Friday because we're not leaving till a little bit later. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage, on your side, your wisdom guided oracle. Until we meet again. And we're waiting for the